420, 420 for 20 long years. I smoked lots of reefer and drank lots of beer. Every day at 420, we're going to settle the score. And for 20 long years, it's been 20 past 4.
My God, it's like I coughed up a lung there in the intro. Hey, everybody, Jeff Kravitz on a beautiful Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. Jeff Kravitz, 420 Live, coming to you live at 420. East Coast, EST. If you haven't figured it out, we're here for all you snowbound people, all you, my poor friends freezing your asses off. We're freezing our ass off here in Los Angeles, too. It's 66 today at the beach, so I had to bring what did I bring today? Like a little vest or something. You have to put something on your car because by the time the sun sets here, it's at least down to the low 60s. I know I'm totally busting everyone's balls out there freezing their butts off. But, at least you have a reason to stay home now because it's cold and snowy. It's not like beautiful outside. And you can be like, oh, I'm all locked in. So everybody out there, cheers. I hope you're having a great day. It's 420. You should be in the middle of whatever you're doing and have a little smoke with us. We have a guest today, Mark Joseph, coming up in a couple minutes. Mark and I became friends down there in the Virgin Islands when I went down for the Shred, the Shred Fest, the Grateful, what was it? Shred is Dead, right? Grateful Shred, something like that. I'm going to get it. Anyway, we had a great time, and he's going to come on. He's going to play some music for you today. We're going to shoot the shit like two old friends do when they get on 420 Live. And this is the spot for all of us, for all of our friends to come together and welcome everybody and say, hey, what's up? And Mark, maybe make sure you guys, I didn't talk to you about this in the intro, but have a watch party going on your end, on your Facebook while I'm doing all this, to let everybody know what you're doing right now and that you're going to be with us so they can tune in and not miss a minute of the action here. Cancel culture live and well today as the number one country artist in the country. The country artist in the country got videotaped by his neighbor after a night of drinking, saying the N-word as he walked into his front door drunk. And all I got to say is be nice to your neighbors because, if you had a good relationship, maybe gave the guy a couple tickets to his concert. You went out there and had a couple beers, invited him over for the barbecue. Your neighbor wouldn't be taping you coming home at 1 o'clock in the morning, cursing at your friends, and then share the videotape with everybody. It's one thing to tape everybody, but it's another thing when you're like, I need to call TMZ with this because this is so juicy. I got to ruin this guy's career. Granted, yes, okay. He said a bad word that people have a lot of problems with. I got it. Trust me, I am BLM. I'm all about, Black Lives Matter and everything like that. But we also get to a point in our country where this is kind of invasion of privacy. I mean, the guy's at his house going in the front door. Okay, I'm probably going to get Me Too'd on this too. But I just think that, there comes a certain point when you have no comfort level. And really, yes, he's wrong. You shouldn't think like this. The N-word should not be in your vernacular. But he's a country artist from the South where the Ku Klux Klan rides still, where our country is so divisive and everybody's just bopping out these kinds of words at will because it's what they've done for years. It's what their parents did. It's their family. You're changing hundreds and hundreds of years of bad culture. And yes, we're trying to do it as fast as possible in our country because it's wrong. But at the same time, there's certain parts of our country are not going to be up with what's happening in the metropolitan areas, And that word is really a crazy word because, I'm speaking of the N-word, because with certain people, it's sung about, it's used in songs, it's a term of endearment, but then the wrong person says it, and boy, you are canceled. Dropped from his label. Over 400 radio stations have pulled his music. He's still number one in the country. People are still buying and listening to his music, but he was not dropped from his label. He was suspended. So anyway, I'm not going to have to worry about any of that with my guest today because I know Mark Joseph. He's got the heart of gold, and he's sitting right here. We're going to invite him in, say hi to my good friend, Mark Joseph.
Yeah, what's up, Jeff?
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, that's real sweet of you to say. Yeah, man, it's all love, peace and love, baby.
Yes, I know where we all come from, and these aren't the kind of words that we throw around every day describing anybody, but it's a very interesting time as a musician who works hard on his music. How do you feel about somebody that you love that does something wrong? Does it make you not listen to their music anymore? I mean,
that's a complicated one, and it certainly changes my perspective on said person, to a certain degree, and it goes full spectrum. I mean, I grew up in country music, so I mean, there's characters and people there who have crossed that line, over the years, and of course, like back in the '70s, it was almost like a different time, right? It's like almost like not, I don't think it's been acceptable for ever, but sort of like David Allan Coe, people like that, and yeah, man, it certainly changes it, and I think it's inappropriate, and it's words have power, so like what are you using that word for, and what's the point of that? And it's negative, it's hurtful, and it's and it's powerful. So yeah, man, it does change my my perspective on them. But I will add that I think that we haven't quite figured out cancel culture yet either, because what's the, somebody makes a mistake, how do they right their wrongs, right? There's got to be recourse there too. So it's tough.
Yeah, well, but the thing about this guy was he did the same thing about 6 months ago. Was pulled off of Saturday Night Live, and then Saturday Night Live, like 6 weeks later, is like, okay, now you can come and perform because you did all the right things. And then he slips up again, and now it's just like, okay. But you said you grew up in the South. Where did you grow up?
Oh no, I grew up with country music. I grew up riding horses and going to horse shows, and that's kind of how I got my taste for the road. Was riding around going to these shows with my mom. She was an avid horse rider, so. So we listen to a lot of country music. I grew up in Minnesota, southern Minnesota.
Right. That's what I thought. That's why when you said you grew up in the country, I was like, wait, where?
So yeah. Way down in Northfield of all places, right? It's called Northfield. But yeah, man, grew up riding and traveling around. We would start on a Thursday at like 5 a.m. and you'd go till, Monday morning. So it's really how I got a taste for the road early on, traveling around with my mom, riding horses and, taking care of them and going from show to show and that kind of thing,
And what was the first kind of music were you listening to country music back then? Because you heard it everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what you do when you ride horses. You listen to country for sure. Yep. George Strait, George Jones, all the classic stuff, and that's what I really love. Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, outlaw country.
And when did you pick up a guitar and start learning how to do it?
I was about 11 years old when I first started. My mom actually bought me an old, it's like $100 Japanese guitar and this little Fender Champ, and that was it, man. It took me about 6 months to really figure out what to do with it. I saw B.B. King, and then that was sort of really what set my path,
Where you saw the way he made it sing and.
Oh yeah, it was life changing. I mean, I saw the light. It was like. The blues are so powerful. Blues are something that really speaks to me, and so I just witnessing them at that age, and then I had the guitar at home, so I was like, okay, now I see what I'm supposed to do with this thing.
But it is a long shot from dialing in what you hear on those first couple records and getting your guitar to sound like that.
Oh, for sure, and it took many years, and in fact, it took a particular instrument for me to really eventually get there. I had that once I got rid of that old beginner guitar. I went to a Strat for many years, and then eventually when I was in 1999, I came into a hollow body Paul Reed Smith, and it was a crazy kind of story about how it happened, but it came to me, and it was truly a blessing because I still play it to this day, and it's definitely my main electric guitar. And it's those, as I'm sure Jeff, those hollow body PRS is just saying, they just they're gorgeous. They sound so beautiful and
they're semi hollow, right?
This mine is completely hollow, but it's
really?
It's not as it's not like a wide body though. It's a very thin body. It's a super lightweight instrument too. So it feels like sort of like you're not really holding anything on you while you're playing it. I think it almost translates to the way it works on the fret too.
And what's the main difference? Because a lot of guys play the Paul Reed Smith. Like, what's the difference between, like, what did he figure out that Fender and Les Paul were missing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if I have a good answer for that question. That is a great question, though, nonetheless.
Well, do you think it's the fretboard's 24 frets?
Yeah, It's very playable, man. It's a super playable instrument. Yes, the 24 fret thing, that's something. Yeah, that's something. It makes it stand out. I would say their necks are always just amazing. I mean, have you ever picked up a Paul Reed Smith? That didn't really. You're like, I don't like this. I never have. I mean, I've played them all too. I played them all different kinds, different designs, and they all sound great. They feel good. I mean, they might not all be something I would purchase per se, but I like them and they play good. They sound good. I'm not sure what it is, man. He figured something out though, for sure. In a world of like established guitar manufacturers, right? He became one sort of after your Les Pauls and
Well, that's what I mean.
Leo
He's
Fender.
next level, where Les Paul was like the innovator, because Les Paul invented everything about that guitar, from the pickups to the tuning heads. He was the guy who we can really credit him and Leo Fender, right?
Right. So maybe the difference is those guys were sort of the they were on the forefronts of creating electric guitar as we know it, and Paul Reed Smith had the benefit of sort of
Of their
growing
work.
up in that. Yeah, and experiencing that and then refining it. So that's probably the best way I could equate it, is that he took all those things and just made there's a lot of qualities in a Paul Reed Smith that you see in other guitars, and depending on which one you're playing too. So they're all very different and unique. My particular Paul Reed is it's a custom, and it's a McCarty model, so it has certain qualities to it that like other hollow bodies in particular don't actually have, other Paul Reed Smith hollow bodies. And so mine's got humbuckers in it, and it's got its fret spacing's a little different, and just some different kind of woods used. But I like my particular one because it with the humbuckers, I can really get the Les Paul. Like if I really want to rock out, I can hit the neck pickup for kind of like a real Les Paul kind of sound. But then I can go the other direction and really get really warm, fat tones, like almost like a jazz guitar sound. It's very diverse like that. I can play a lot of reggae with it. I like because it's very clean, very on the high end too. So as far as rhythm goes too, it's got qualities there as well.
Excellent. So besides country, who were some of your early influences?
Well, I grew up singing in church, but it wasn't the gospel I came to know and love later. It was very like sort of rudimentary, Christian, or Catholic contemporary Christian music, which didn't really move me very much, but it was there. My grandfather was a phenomenal jazz piano player, and he had sort of the stride style from the 40s. So I grew up listening to him play a lot, sitting around the piano, at all the holidays, and then just in general all the time. He was always playing something. And so, there was jazz there early on. And then, the country came in. And then when I saw B.B. King, that changed everything. So then I sort of discovered the blues. Right around that time, I got way into classic rock, and that's where I discovered the Led Zeppelins and Jeff Beck's and Eric Clapton, Cream, Allman Brothers.
Did you have to figure all that stuff out on your own? Or do you have older siblings, or did you have neighbors with record collections and stuff like that, or other guitar players?
Yeah, my old my mom is a music fanatic. So every year for my birthday, she'd give me a whole slew of tapes, and always make sure I was getting different ones. So my mom had a lot to do with it. Also, my old man owned a bar restaurant in Northfield, Minnesota, called Grundy's Corner Bar and the Upstairs Rubenstein, which is kind of an iconic music venue in its day. In the 80s, it was 6 nights a week they were rocking. So I grew up working in the bar down there. So in the late 80s, they were having 6 shows a night or a week, and they had all kinds of stuff coming through there. The famed Pachyderm Studios is in Cannon Falls, right there. That's where Nirvana did In Utero, Soul Asylum did, the Grave Dancers Union there, and a lot of other very famous records were made. So those guys, whenever they had off time, back then, my dad's bar was kind of the only spot to go in the area when you wanted to get away from the studio or whatever. So all those artists at some point play there. I don't think Nirvana played there, but I know the Soul Asylum guys did. Adi DeFranco came in one night and played, and so I was in that environment, which definitely had a huge influence on me. From there.
How long was it before did you ever play Dad's bar?
Oh yeah. I played my first show there. Oh yeah.
So that was the first show. And how old were you when you did that?
We were in middle school, and so I would have been, what is that?
13, 14.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
I taught my buddies in middle school how to play guitar, bass, and drums. I literally taught them each instrument so we could have a band, and so we'd go do shows. It's true story, man. And
I love it.
Crazy is those dudes still play to this day. They still play to this day. And one of them, Chad Johnson, my buddy Chad, is I produce records for him. I've done 2 records for him in Nashville, and he's pretty serious about it. And the other guys play as well, So you got to get it going, dude. We were ready to rock,
All right. Well, I love it. Well, I see you got your guitar there. So why don't you give the people a little touch of what you got? What are you going to play for us to start?
I'm going to play a brand new song for you. I'm working on my new record right now, and I had sort of a run writing songs around Christmas this year, right when I got back from the islands. Wonder if there's any coincidence.
Some good inspiration down there, huh?
Yeah, I wrote a batch of songs, man. I wrote 7 brand new songs in the space of about 3 weeks. So
wow, great. Well, let's see what you got. Mark Joseph, everybody. I'll be over here.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. This is called Life of a Pipe Welder. This will be on my forthcoming record here. The life of a pipe welder is seldom told. He keeps the hours of laborers of old. Raising 3 babies ain't an easy task. So I earn that bread and then I run it back. Bumping, I sleeping under the stars. Catching 5 flies, put them in a jar. Shooting pool, rum cold with the lime. Dry your tears, baby girl, we're doing fine. We've seen better days now, but I don't complain. Running pipes has kinda kept me sane. And I know we've got money coming in to feed these kids. Through the years and the tears, we all met most. We are living now, no time for ghosts. And through the years and the tears, remember what matters most. We are living now, no time for gold. Summer nights at the baseball game, I close my eyes and I am there again. The southern nights of my feet in the sand. Anything is possible, it's in my hands. And just when you've got it all figured out, well, life comes round and then it kicks you down. The horse I'm on, well, now I've got to ride. See where it takes me now, well, I don't mind. No, I don't mind. And all these days now, where have they gone? I have to sing the blues, but not for very long. Oh, my day is coming and it ain't no doubt that I'm cashing in and then I'll head it south. I spend my days out on the water with the postcards from Florida for my daughter. My working days now they are done. Here comes the sun. Here it comes.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's an ode, man. That's a whole thing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Fun,
So what was your inspiration there? Because you got a lot going on. It's a whole tale, like a working man's tale.
Yeah, man. Yes, it is. That's the name of the new record. It'll be Working Folks. It's stories about real people working real hard and trying to get by. And that particular song is written about a fan of mine, about her dad, who's he's been fighting cancer, and then happened to get COVID in the hospital while he's fighting cancer, and he just happened to be about 6 months from retirement when all this happened. And so despite all the things that he's facing right now, I come to learn more about him through his daughter. And he's a real hardworking man that he spent his life working for his family. Went through a divorce and moved around a lot, and he really made a lot of sacrifices for his family. And as she told me about the story about him and what he's going through, and also how strong he is, faced with the cancer and the COVID and everything. Is very inspiring to me, and I wanted to write a song about it, and then not only just to capture that the beauty in that, because I have 2 daughters myself, but also just to give him something to pump him up, because I'm proud of anybody who can be that brave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So.
I mean that's a lot going on, and especially it seems like everybody that's happening. It's kind of like it's a full basket of things that all hit this fan at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Well, when life is in question, you really take a long, hard look at everything, and whatever you're thankful for becomes a lot more clear in that moment, I think,
How has the pandemic affected you?
It's definitely flipped my world on its head in some ways. The industry, obviously, as you know, is totally changed in many ways. It's shut down and completely in some places. I was on lockdown for the first 2 months, completely just doing streams from this very studio here at Rice Street Studios, and we were doing a lot of that. And then come about mid-May, it was clear that people were not tuning in as much. They wanted to go outside. They needed to get out and do something. And especially in Minnesota, like the summertime here, you got to get out. Winter is like over. You get out and you just do stuff outside. So I started playing what we call pop-up shows. So they're small concerts in people's backyards, essentially 20 people. All distanced, and usually the people in the show would be people that like know each other or family. They see each other on whoever's like potting together or whatever.
Right.
And so I did a lot of those. It really saved my year, helped me pay the bills. Really. It was interesting. I try to stay positive, Jeff. In general in life. So for me, it's funny when I get asked this question. Like I start thinking about, okay, how has this changed my life? And I'm like, I think of the positive things, but that's just how I try to sort of,
Well, what I think the one thing about this pandemic that I've learned is all of us considered ourselves kind of superstar rock stars before this all went down. And now we've all had this humbling ass handing that has been it's been really a leveling experience, because we're all in the same boat together. We're all washing pots and pans at night. We're all like cleaning up the kitchen and helping with meals. I mean, we've all chipped in, where before we'd be so busy, honey, I gotta go, I can't, I'll be back, I'll see you on the weekend, because you're gigging and you're touring. I was running around taking pictures. We were always constantly on the move, and being home this time has allowed us to become more human in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's some of that silver lining there. There is positive things that have happened here, when you go through any kind of change like that. And, for me, it was like, yes, you're totally right. Like being home, being present, you kind of don't have a choice. You are present. You can't just go off to wherever. There's
no distractions.
Yeah.
Like there's nowhere to really go. You can't go to the movies even. I mean, all the little things we used to do as let's go out and go to dinner. What's happening with dining in Minnesota?
So dining's been like on and off periodically. In the summer, it's better because obviously everybody's got decks and patios.
Right,
and
but
stuff,
I'm
so
talking about like right now in the middle of beginning of February.
Right now, it's I believe it's 50% cap, and it's up to 150. I think is what it is.
Okay, so the numbers the numbers have to be down then in general.
We're doing better. Yeah, we hit some bad numbers in November. The whole Midwest kind of had a rash there in November. It was not looking good, and So they did shut. We went through like it was like kind of hardcore lockdown 2.0 at that point, and it's funny, and everybody feels differently about this, and I respect most people's views on it, especially if you own an establishment. I get it how difficult this is for you, but it's funny. I think our governor was trying to, he's trying to do something to help, and in mid-December they opened up outdoor dining, and everybody's like, "What do you do?" I thought it was funny, and I'm also like, man, if you've never gone and ate a burger outside in December and drank a beer, then I don't really know if you're from Minnesota. How about that?
Right? Well, they might have like the heat things on the top, right, and stuff like that, or no?
Dude, we played shows when it's super cold out. It can be done, it can be done. But
how do you do it? How do you do it with the fingers? Have you got fingers where you cut the gloves, where you cut the tips out?
Those don't really work for guitar players. They work for bass players. Not that they're not guitar players, but bass players can get away with it
because the finger is more like this than this.
Yeah, they're hitting they're hitting singular notes that are big, strange, and I've even seen some bass players that can wear gloves that actually work with the gloves on. But
yeah, metal strings in like 30, 40 degrees cannot be fun.
I view it as like there's this sort of like 5-song period you have to just like hack through. You won't feel your fingers at first. If you keep at it though, and if you don't slow down, you can't stop playing. You got to keep going, keep it going, keep it going.
You need the friction.
A little bit of whiskey, some whiskey shots. Brandy helps. Brandy's good. And then if you keep hammering away at it, you'll start your inner, I don't know if this is for everybody, but I grew up in Minnesota, so I got this little, heater in me. So if I get it going, you know what I mean, you can kind of get through it. It's not exactly pleasant, I wouldn't say, but it can be done though. It can be done.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear things are coming back around, and that your you're at 50% indoor dining right now. They just opened up outdoor dining here in Los Angeles. So
that's good.
I'm overeating out. I'm done. Now I realize how easy it is to whip something up in the kitchen. I'm just like,
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, for sure. Cooking at home is important. I mean, it just is on so many levels. I like to cook myself. I enjoy it. The kitchen's sort of my zen, especially if the kids are going wild or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, I'll be in the kitchen.
Well, are they used to you being around now? Now it's going to be like dad's home all the time.
Yeah, I've got 2 in diapers, man. So they're 3 and 1. So yeah, that's going to be tough when it starts to get busy again. That is going to be tough, and that's something that I have my oldest daughter. She's 19 now, so she, her whole life, that's just how it was. I travel for work, and I'm gone long periods. But when I come home, we spend a lot of time together, and that's just how it is. And we made it work, and we never celebrate holidays on the actual holiday. That's just how we do it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I'm like, infant to 3-year-old is kind of like the perfect pandemic age because too young for school. You need to be around all the time. The kids are funny as hell and entertaining because they're so silly, right? At those ages.
That has been a godsend for sure. They are hilarious. That's for sure. And I think you're right about that. The school thing, it would have been, I feel for anybody who's going through the homeschooling stuff. It's so difficult to do. And it's not for everybody, not everybody has got that really inside them to be a teacher in that way. I think all parents are teachers to a certain degree, but like that's a different skill set. I think that it is affecting kids though. I think the social piece is just so difficult for children. Need to be around other people and other kids. That's how they learn how to behave. That's how you learn right from wrong. You learn how to be a good friend, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's been rough for us. We have some friends that we see that are, sort of on the same, wavelength with us. And we try to do as much as we can, but it's not like anything close to normal.
No, not at all. This is a new kind of normal. But you know what? I really feel, we've been talking about it. So that this is kind of like we're getting all our eggs in the basket, all our ducks in a row now, because when we do come back, we're not stopping until they put us in the box and put us down.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of things I said I would do once this is over, so I have a list going.
Oh my God, it's so long.
Yeah, it's a long list for sure. Yeah, man, I can't wait. What a build up. Remember how bad you used to, waiting for a show to come in 3 months, right?
Or even waiting when you're a kid, waiting for like Christmas break or summer break, when you're in school and you're like, I can't wait for summer. That's how I feel really. Like I've gone back that far.
Yeah.
Not even like where I'm
Totally.
anticipating shows. I'm anticipating like a huge chunk of time coming back to me that I've just been like sitting waiting for. So
Man, people are they're gonna act a fool when they can hang out again. People are gonna wild out for a minute for sure.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life when this comes.
Okay, I'll remember you said that. Me too. I'll join you on that. Me too. I'm gonna be the best. Yeah.
Ready to rock. Why don't you spin us another tune? What do you got? You got a nice little cover for us?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do some Dead.
I love it.
You know, that's what we're
very popular band around here.
Oh yeah, we're about the Dead. That's how we sort of.
All right. Well, I'll be vaping over here while you.
All right.
Mark Joseph, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah. Till the morning comes, it'll do you fine. Till the morning comes, like a highway sign, showing you the way and leaving no doubt of the way on in or the way back out. Yeah. I tell you what I'll do, I'll watch out for you. You're my woman now. Make yourself easy. Make yourself easy. Make yourself easy. Till we all fall down, it'll do you fine. Don't think about what you left behind, or the way you came, or the way you go. Let your tracks be lost in the dark and snow. I tell you what I'll do, I'll watch out for you. You're my woman now. Make yourself easy. Make yourself easy. Make yourself easy. When the shadows grow, it'll do you fine. When the cold winds blow, it'll ease your mind. And the shape it takes could be yours to choose. Well, what you may win, what you may lose. Yeah. Tell you what I'll do, I'll watch out for you. You're my woman now. Make yourself easy. Make yourself easy. Make yourself easy. Woo. You're my woman now. It's easy. You're my woman. Make yourself easy. You're my woman. Make yourself easy.
Yes, sir.
Woo. Right.
Love that.
Yeah, man.
That's an old school Grateful Dead song.
I love that song, man. That's a jammer right there.
Was
Utilized, I'd say.
for sure. So we met down in the Virgin Islands, having a blast for 8 days. What a trip! And we have Jam Fest coming up, I believe, right?
Yeah, man. Are you on board?
I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out as we speak. So
I had a feeling you would you'd be interested in that. Yes.
Well,
VI Jam Fest, March 4 to 7, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, tell us about what you know about it.
What I know is that it's going to be the acoustic version of the said festival. They've been doing it for a while now, maybe 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be like an acoustic version with a mashup of a bunch of really great players. So some of the familiar faces from last time. Marcus Rizak, Todd Stoops, Hash will be there, myself, and then there's a slew of other players.
Jason,
too.
I think Jason Hahn was added on.
Yeah, Jason Hahn was added. Yeah, man, where do you get to play with Jason? He's so fun. He is a fun dude to hang with and to play music with. I mean, just a world-class player. So, yeah, man, it's going to be kind of I think we're talking about, like, all these different combos, like trying, doing a duo with, like, Hash and I, and then, like, Marcus and I will play, or, like, Stoops and Marcus, and, like, just totally, I think
it's not going to be one. It'll be a bunch of different sets throughout the day, right? It'll be more like a festival kind of setup.
I think so. I will have to see what they come out on the schedule, but I think that's kind of what it'll be more than a normal
if
show.
If there's a schedule, yeah. I mean, a schedule denotes that there's going to be a chunk of change. So, and it's going to be at the beautiful Windmill Bar, correct?
Yeah, the Windmill Bar, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I've heard a lot about this party. I hear it's a good time, and yeah, man, I can't wait to get back. I mean, it's my heart lives there, in St. John, man.
Had you been there before you went down there last trip?
Yeah. Let's see. This will be my when we go in March. That'll be my 5th trip now. So I've been there a handful of times. I love it. I keep going back. I can't really stay away.
Well, it's a really beautiful exotic island, and really, interesting because 70% of it is national park. So it's this huge. It's a jungle, right? It's like a wilderness.
Yes, it is. It's almost all national forest. So I mean, that's such a beautiful thing, man. You really once you get to St. John, you're off the grid to a certain degree. You're not seeing the billboards and the fast food restaurants and all that stuff that the 24/7 marketing bombardment that we experience in the States. And I love that. For me, I find myself walking away from my phone down there and kind of checking out, which is something that I think all people need. I certainly need it. Stuff.
Yeah, well, it's just a different, interesting lifestyle because you're right. There's no mass commerce down there at all. It's all very funky. It's funky. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
It's funky, and everybody's chilling out, and everybody's relaxed. Nobody's tripping out, and nobody's like stressed out about like being late or whatever, which is such a refreshing environment to be in.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. So if people want to come, it's open to the public, right?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of ticket information. I think they're going to announce it today.
But they're on Instagram. They're VJ, I believe, Jam Fest.
Yeah, VI Jam Fest.
VI Jam Fest is on Instagram. And if you want more information, just let us know. And tickets, it's going to be 4, 5, 6. So 4 days?
I think it's 4 days. I think it's a Thursday through Sunday, I do believe. Yeah.
That's great.
So third through 7 or 4 through 7. Yeah.
Last time was a blast. I can't imagine that this is going to be any less fun. I mean, I do prefer electric in the zone. I sure hope we get a little light night.
Well, yeah, you know how that goes. Of course, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
We got in so much fucking trouble down there. It's really interesting, huh?
Ooh,
like the first night we set up in the house.
Yeah.
We guys are in the middle of a jam. It's like 12:30 at night, and all the power goes out. And we're like, "Oh shit! There's a power outage."
Yeah, man. Oh man, no, they're like, and then there was the conspiracy whether or not it was like somebody pulled the power, right?
Well, yeah, well, it was a power switch on the pole that one of the neighbors went and flipped, and it took us like 25 minutes to figure it out.
Right, the dudes were on it. Yeah, they're like, "Oh man, we've been sabotaged."
Yeah, that was like the first. Was that the first day, and the cops showed up that night too?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that was all the. I think that was all the first night. I was like, "Wow, welcome to the Virgin Islands. You guys really know how to stir it up."
Yeah, we came in hot for sure.
We definitely scorched some earth, and we left memories, which is probably one of the reasons it's acoustic, because that electric music just gets everybody all riled up.
It was a party for sure. It was a party, and then moving, making it a positive, and moving it to the to Great Cruise Bay. It was also a trip and kind of stressful, but then super awesome once it happened too. Like that, what an environment to play music in. I mean, off that deck right into Great Cruise Bay. It was unreal.
I'd like to, it's funny because Jared and I were talking about setting up something that was kind of like that again to set up even a venue there that was like a boat-driven paddleboard Zodiac, swimming. or a
Swim
boat
in. Swim at boat in. Yeah, dude. I'm
swim
with
at
it.
boat
I
in
love that. Yeah.
festival. I mean, because everybody be in the water hanging out. So
Dude, I'll never forget watching the people cruise up on paddle boards to the show. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is amazing. And
Yeah.
all the yachts and people dancing on the yachts and in the beach and sand. I mean, what a scene, man. Oh my God. It's crazy. It was so good.
I'm ready.
Do that again for show.
I'm ready to go back. So what do you got first? What's your third song here for us?
That's a good question. I didn't really plan that one out. Let's see here. Why don't we do let's do some blues. How about?
You got it.
My last record was a blues album, so we'll do something off that. How about?
All right, Mark Joseph, ladies and gentlemen.
We're gonna do a song called "Bound to Be Blessed." Don't you cry no more. It's time to walk yourself out the door. And don't be afraid of what comes next. Just try to do your best. You just cannot know what life has in store. No, no. I checked into another roadside motel. Yep. Turns out they got a room just for you. Tonight we hit the stage, lay it all on the line. Yeah. You're gonna let your light shine. Yeah. 'Cause you're bound to be blessed. Yes, yes, yes. You're not like the rest. No, 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 no. You write your own story. You're destined for glory. And now you have to confess that you're bound to be blessed. Yeah. Come on, Jeff. Don't you cry no more tears. Yeah. Woo. It's been 420 for all these years. Yeah. It don't do you no good. You pick up the pieces. This is your call to Jesus. And the answer is near. But you need to listen here. Come on now. I checked into another roadside motel. Well, turns out they got a room just for you. Yeah. Tonight we hit the stage, lay it all on the line. Yeah. You're gonna let your light shine on 420, yeah. 'Cause you're bound to be blessed. Yes, yes, yes. You're not like the rest. No, 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 no. You write your own story. Lord, you're destined for glory. Now you have to confess that you're bound to be blessed. And you have to confess that you're bound to be blessed. And you have to confess that you're bound to be blessed.
Yes.
Yeah,
And Mark Joseph bringing the A production, the best production we've ever had from a performer here on the show. The multiple camera angles, the lighting. Thank you,
man.
Mike.
Mike B, Rice Street Circus Studios, man. They do it right. This is where we stream from. You know, we have a good time doing it, man. Thank you.
Well, you guys are doing a bang up job there. I guess being cold all the time, you're like, okay, we're indoors. We're going to get this shit right.
A lot of streaming time. Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. Yeah.
We're like, look, we got time to dial into production because what the hell? I got nowhere else to go.
That's exactly what we did too. That's totally true. That's what we did. Yeah.
And you've done a great job, Mark, keeping everybody entertained over the COVID. We talked extensively when we were there about the shows you've been doing. You did a couple shows while we were down there in St. John, a couple solo shows too.
Yep.
So, you're at it. You're delivering people A+ entertainment. Your voice, your guitar playing, A+, man. You did your homework. You've definitely trained yourself to really become an A+ performer. So congratulations on where you are and the level you've achieved.
Thank you, my friend. Those very kind words. I might quote you on it.
Yeah. Well, I know it doesn't come easy, it's
No,
hard
it
to
don't.
deliver, and it's also hard. It's dedicated. And also this is your job. This is what you're doing 24/7. This is how you make a living and feed your family. So,
Yeah, sure is.
hats off to you on being able to figure it out, because a lot of people haven't been able to, but a lot of people have too,
Yep. Yep, absolutely. I appreciate that very much, Jeff. And I send it all the love right back to you, man. Because way to be. I see you as this. You're sort of this visionary. You have this sort of guru sort of aura about you. You sort of bring people together. You see the big picture. You see the small picture. And like watching you work too and shoot us down in the Virgin Islands was such a trip. It was a pleasure to watch you work and a pleasure to meet you. And then and here we are just rocking out still. So I can't wait what the next adventure brings us. And you bring people together too, man. In this conversation that you've been having, that's what you've been doing. You've been every day, damn near, right?
Damn near every day. It's crazy.
You're having a dialogue, man. You're touching all the bases. In fact, I have a lot of respect for that. And you're out there talking about anything that's happening, and you're very open. You're an open soul in that way. But I think that's very positive, and I think it takes some. A lot of people are not that way. So I think when they come to the show and they engage with you, I think they're actually learning and seeing a version of somebody who's got an open heart and who's willing to address difficult topics that are hard to talk about, and not always, but sometimes, and I think that I commend you for it, man, and I think it's great. I enjoy your show, and I tune in almost every day, every time I can.
I appreciate it, and I know I have a captive audience up there, so I appreciate you guys tuning in and the love, and we're in incredible times right now, and it's forcing us to become best versions of ourselves, and that's one of the things, because it was easy to hide bad habits from everybody else in your life before this, right? But now you're an open book every day. You're in someone's face 24/7. So if the mood changes or the attitude changes, a lot of times I'll talk to my wife and she'll start acting a different way. I was like, wait a second, this is not about the butter.
Yeah. Check yourself. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just something
when I say
deeper.
check yourself, I mean check myself.
Right. Well,
I mean?
that's where it always leads to, that you're like, oh, well, you did this, and you're like, oh, there it is.
It's not the worst thing in the world to debate whether or not a certain particular thing is worth getting upset about. That's one of the best things I think you can ever do in your life, is to stop and say, is this really worth this? This ain't worth this.
Yeah, well, and it's so funny, the stupid shit you fight about when you're married too. And once my wife likes being right a lot, and I get it, and I like being right too, and that's where you really get the. But I've learned that as long as I know I'm right, I don't have to prove it to anyone else. So I just okay, you're right. Okay,
exactly.
I'm learning to grow up in my old age.
Oh, there you go. You go, Jeff. You go.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, we're running to the end. We do have time for one more song if you want to do another cover, maybe.
Sweet. I like to play. Dang, what do you want to hear? You got any requests?
Maybe something. Well, you did the blues, and you did like that really cool song about the pipe fitter. So maybe something, and you did the Dead song.
We do some reggae music.
Yeah, there you go.
We do something.
Get everybody ready for the VI Jam Fest.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do some reggae. Let's do that. Let me see here. Let's do something. We'll do a deep cut here. We'll do Cottage in the Grill.
All right.
Cottage in the grill. Well, I wrote these lines to you. And from a little cottage in the grill, yeah, I realized I love you still. Brothers getting J's, some are sniffing cocaine, some get high up on that tonic pie. Some get high on the Sensimania cake, and then head west for a sunset at Rick's Cafe. Yeah. cottage in the grill. Well, I wrote these lines to you. Oh, yeah, from a little cottage in the grill. Oh, baby, I realized I love you still. From a little cottage in the hills, way west in Needville, I'm just standing here. I'm just waiting for your love. Honey, I miss you. How these lips wanna kiss you, but when I call your phone, to my surprise, you weren't at home. From a little cottage in the grill. Oh, baby. Well, I wrote these lines. Well, I wrote these lines to you. From a little cottage in the grill now, baby. I realize I love you still. Yes, I do. And brothers getting J, and some are sniffing cocaine. Some get high on that 420 tonic pipe. Some get high, yeah, on the Sensimania cake, and then head west to a sunset at Ritz Cafe, yeah, from a little cottage in the grill, yeah. Well, I wrote these lines to you, yeah, from a little cottage in St. John, baby. Yes, I did, yeah. If I'm a little cottage in the grill. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I wrote these, yes, I wrote these lines to you. Yes, I did. From a little cottage in the grill now, baby. I realized I love you. I love you still.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Strong finish there, Mark Joseph.
Let's go back to the islands. Let's
I
do it.
love it. I love it.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on 420 Live today and bringing the beautiful music.
Yes, thank you, my friend.
Is there anything you'd like to say out there to your people and my people?
That the herb is the healing of the nation. Yes, it is the herb is the healing of the nation. So don't say no, 'cause it's true. Herb can fix it all, man. Hemp, you name it. CBD. Let's go.
In Minnesota, they got shot. You got shot.
No, it's not. It's there's I think they're doing some hemp production stuff here, but no, it's not legal yet here. But
Well, I heard Idaho, which I know is close to you. They're like, absolutely not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. And Illinois and Michigan, they've got it going. It's not too far away, but how American of people to not agree. That's what we do. So some people, they just haven't been educated yet. But I truly believe that the herb can guide us into the future and heal this earth. And there's so many things to be done with it. And it's not just about getting high either. It's far from it. In fact, there's so many benefits to it. It goes on and on and on. And in fact, people are, we're not always as smart as we think we are. Maybe let's put it that way. And, I think that in the end, we may have to turn to hemp and to cannabis to save our ass in the end. That's kind of my prediction, because if we can't figure it out now, well, we're gonna have to figure it out later, So that's my belief. That's what I believe.
Well, one of the things we say around here is all use is medical use.
There you go. Absolutely.
So there's no such thing as just getting stoned. We're all trying to get in the zone. So
there you go.
We love it. Thank you for coming on. I look forward to our next face-to-face.
Yes, my friend. Peace. Thank you so much.
Make sure you check out Mark Joseph and his amazing music. He's all over it. We're connected on the Instagram, on the Facebook, everything.
Yeah,
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
Thank you. Peace.
Great. Excellent. 4 songs. I threw another one at him. I told him it was only going to be 3. See, but Mark Joseph, check out him. Check out his music. I think that was a great introduction to everybody out there in the hood. And let's get into Sponsorville. Sinlawn. Where is it? Sinlawn.com. We have synthetic lawn. This is the OG Kush. I had the sour diesel. Now I got the OG Kush brand. It's a little bit stinky. You like the stuff? Everybody in the house can smell it. Sinlawn synthetic lawn needs, environmentally friendly, and in many ways, in production as well as with water consumption. This is what we use at the Kravitz house for our lawns because we live in California, which is not a good place to be wasting water on a patch of grass that's 10 foot by 10 foot. But you can have a nice synthetic lawn. It looks beautiful. People can't even tell. Even the dog just pees right on the synthetic lawn, just like it's a real lawn. It uses the synthetic lawn like a bathroom too. So Sinlawn, and with all the amazing water that you save with the Sinlawn, you can make a delicious 36 cups of Grady's cold brew with the Grady cold brew kit, 36 cups of New Orleans style chicory coffee. You get 20% off the Grady's right there at the 420 Live code. Grady's, the bean bags. So there's no muss, no fuss. You drop the bean bags in, you make the coffee, you take the green bean bags out. You can dump them in your garden. We compost all our beans, but if you're not composting, I'm earthy, crunchy Kravitz Californians. We have synthetic lawn and we compost our coffee. We actually are the only house in our neighborhood that has a compost little patch out in front of the house. So Grady's Cold Brew. Check it out. Get your 20% discount. And, I've been talking to my friends at Solar Pipe, and they have a brand new solar pipe coming out, the Electra, which he's going to come on and he's going to give it to me, I think, before I leave, but he wants to show me the prototype. So Sinlawn and of course, Asher's, the 420 Live CBD bar, 8 ounces, a half a pound, delicious milk chocolate CBD, potato chips, pretzels, mini M&Ms, coconut flakes, raisins, all wrapped up in a beautiful packaging with my beautiful mug, this mug on the front of it. Tomorrow, I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but I tell you what, on Friday, we got the Humphreys McGee guys coming on to talk about their shows in Nashville. This is only going to be the second time the Humphreys guys have gotten together in the past 9 months. The first time was at Jake's house, and now they're going to be at Chris's place in Nashville. They're all down there now, going to the honky tonks, hanging out. And we're looking forward to having Ryan and Brendan and Jake and Chris and Andy and Joel and all our friends, Kevin Browning and Vince, whoever's there is going to come on the show and talk to you guys. That is on Friday. I'll see you tomorrow, though. Looking forward to it, everybody. Have a great night out there. Peace, love, and happiness to our friends. Big hug. Hello, John Lee Hooker. See, big hooker. Little John Lee. Where is it? Let's see. This is John Lee. You guys thought. Like, how trashy is Kravitz? Incredibly. Have a good night, everybody. Where would I be without you? Where would you be without me? Probably watching CNN.